figured out making video that's a little different than what I'm normally putting up. Got a lot of kill feeds and, you know, all that stuff. Don't have anything else really on the channel. So figure out, let's talk about something. You know, let's do some, you know, little tip or something that can help anybody. You know, new guys, people who just, you know, thinking about getting started. So I feel like one very important one, and it's probably the biggest one on getting started. Land. You know, that's it's kind of a big one. If you're not already predator hunting and, you know, deer hunting, that sort of thing, you probably don't have a whole lot of land. You got your little honey holes that, you know, you're prepping up every year, bringing stands in, taking them down. It's like your cream of the crop, your little piece of heaven. And predator hunting's a little different. You can't really have one spot at all. I think every state probably has a Facebook page, just like we do here in Ohio, that is kind of dedicated to coyote hunting and things like that. You see some of the same names show up every week. Every single week, they're killing something. And, you know, you're like, man, these guys are awesome. Well, they are awesome. I mean, people who are going to kill coyotes continuously, you got to know what you're doing, all right? That's a given. You know, but you're probably thinking, well, how are they doing, you know? So you ask questions. And one thing about calling coyotes, if you ask for help, you will get 100 people tell you what you're doing wrong. Out of those 100 people, maybe 5 of them are actually putting up results. Everyone loves to tell you what you're doing wrong, but they have nothing to back what they're saying up. Some people never even killed a coyote, ever, and they're gonna give you unsolicited advice. So it really boils down to land. We like to think coyotes are everywhere. It's not really the case. They are. But you can be just a couple of 100 yards away from them, and they're not going to care. You can call, you can howl, they won't move. You can be a mile away and they'll come running in. Full-blown sprint, 40 miles an hour. There's a lot of variables, but the more land access you have is going to increase your odds of being successful by miles. That is the biggest thing out there. You can have all the thermal equipment in the world and all the calls in the world, but if you don't have a way to maneuver or just to get across the property line and get a little closer to them, you may not be able to kill them. And pressured coyotes kind of falls into that category. Generally, when you're dealing with things that are pressured, they're going to be silent, they're not going to howl. They've been messed with by a lot of people. They've been messed with by you a lot. You're going to have to get close to them. Got to knock on doors. That's really all you got to do. And as simple as that sounds, there's a lot of people that don't do it. You know, they got anxiety about it. They don't want to, you know, get in people's faces and ask them for permission to go back there. And it's literally the easiest thing in the world. And then, I mean, really, once you establish like a little network, people just start simply talking. You know, they mention your name to their buddies. And then then the phone calls start coming in. Hey, I'm friends with so and so, and I got a couple of coyotes back here. You think maybe you just come take a look, maybe hunt them? Yeah. I mean, it's that simple. But people get a little nervous about that. They don't want to do it. The worst thing that can happen, they tell you no. Just walk next door and talk to the neighbor. If you got land already, drop these farmers' names in the conversation. It really helps validate you and who you are. This year we had that lunar eclipse, and here in Ohio we got down to like -4 with like negative 15, 20 wind chill or something. And I went out that night, and certainly wasn't the most optimal conditions, but there was so much snow on the ground, roads were just terrible, and I really couldn't afford to pull off on the side of the road without the fear of getting stuck. And I seen a guy smoking a cigarette on his front porch, and he was smoking that cigarette 100 miles an hour because he didn't want to be out there. Can't blame him. I just whipped it on in his driveway, got out, and waved at him, walked up to him, and he knew I was in the area doing something. I mean, I had my helmet on, some gear on, and I asked him, hey, I hunt for so-and-so right here, and the other farmer next to him. I've been after a couple of coyotes. The wind's blowing in a certain direction, and I just want to be able to come in from this way. Can I just borrow your driveway for tonight? I'll park at the end of it. I just want to get off the road. That guy, he was all about it. Gave me a cup of coffee, told me the garage is unlocked. If I need to get warm, open that garage up and fire the heater up. Dude don't even know me. I mean, I could be some psycho, which I might be, but because I just simply went in there and talked to him for 5 minutes, not only did he let me do that for the night, but then he turned around. He couldn't remember my name. I didn't give him no contact information, but he went out of his way to go talk to the farmers who I mentioned, and they gave him my number. Not only do I hunt for this dude now, but he has fields and stuff spread out. I hunt for all of them. That was another 1,000 acres that I acquired for just simply initiating a conversation. That makes coyote hunting super easy. It's all you got to do. And I think we're going to end it on that note. You got to have land access to kill coyotes. You got to. It's the easiest thing to do. You know what to do, just do it. Worst thing they can do is tell you no. It took me 6 months to call in a coyote and kill him. I didn't have friends. I didn't have people teaching me. I went out and figured it out, and it took a miserable 6 months to do that. And if I knew then what I know now, I certainly would have killed him in the first week. I had the calls, I had, the equipment, and I thought my calling was pretty on point, I mean, how you can't go wrong with a distress call. I mean, it don't matter what it is, make a noise. If they're hungry, they're gonna come to it and take a look. It came down to land access. I'm too far away from them. Messed with them too much. Now they don't want to come 500 yards. Now they just want to sit in the woods. Sometimes they just ignore you. Sometimes they don't even pay attention to you. I got them on thermal video footage, just literally ignoring me. So, go knock on doors. Talk to them. Yeah. That's all you got to do. Hope that helped. And think of something to put up later on. Do some more stuff. All right.